Hey guys, welcome back. I'm ImperialJedi, and this is the second episode of our starter series, and I appreciate you making your way over here. First episode, honestly, off to a great start. And actually, right after I just finished recording the first episode, we just unlocked the first of our milestones, and that's the state at which I uploaded the city to the workshop. So the first milestone is unlocked, we're profitable, and we have a little bit of money to work with. Whenever you do unlock a milestone, you get a nice little cash injection, so... And then whenever I do unlock a milestone, I tend to like to pause the game just so I can kind of, reflect, just kind of gather my thoughts type thing, make sure we're not really overlooking anything. And if you want, we can just double check and see what was unlocked with our, with our first milestone here. So we got garbage, healthcare, education to work on. We can take out loans and adjust our taxes. And these are the buildings that correspond to our services. So let's go ahead and put those in. All right, so let's buy, or take out a loan so we can buy some of our buildings here. And let's adjust our taxes up to 12%. I find that if I go 13, sometimes people complain. 11, not too bad, but I think 12 is a good number. And if we want it to be maximum efficiency type thing, your budget sliders, you can adjust these. Like water, for example, we're producing more than we need, but I have a terrible tendency to forget to adjust these back afterwards. So I'm gonna leave it like this, but it's kind of like a personal preference thing. Or if you're very close to the positives, you need that few extra bucks or whatever, like that, can sometimes be make or break. All right, so first thing we'll put down is our landfill. And the landfill, once it starts to fill with trash, is essentially stuck, and you can't move it until you empty it with an incinerator. And so for that logic, don't put it over here because you can't move it. We can move it now because we're paused, but the second that piece of trash goes in here, it is stuck. And you don't unlock the incinerators for a little while. I think it's 7,000 people. So we got, ways to go. All right, so that is down. Pretty good coverage from that, so no worries there. Medical clinic, let's go ahead and put one of those down. And this, I'm looking for pretty full city coverage. So that's a darn good spot right there, I think. And then last thing is our elementary school. And so same idea, why don't we just drop that even right here? Pretty good, darn good coverage. We're obviously more focused on where people live versus where they work when it comes to coverage, but city-wise, what we're after. Okay, great. So now we've got some extra money to buy ourselves another one of our little power plants here, because you can see we're just getting close to the point of we're us needing a new one. That's connected to our grid. Great. And I'll probably end up buying maybe one more. But if we unlock the next milestone fast enough, I might just buy a coal power plant as our next one. All right, so we need just a few more people moving in. Let's kind of do a little bit of an expansion to our little streets and neighborhood here. And I don't want to be too far away from an avenue, so why don't we start stretching another avenue across right here? What we could do, though, so that we get some symmetry and some cool kind of shapes happening with the city, is why don't we have a road come down like this, just for reference point. And then what we can do is we can continue, say, this road. This can even switch to two-way traffic like that. And then these two avenues can link up. And then for us to be able to continue with the little one-way network, what we can do with that, I'll kind of show you guys my intention for that. Extend this down here. And we're going to go back to the original spacing of those 3 units, so if we draw that back up. But what we want is to avoid traffic lights. So let's get a few more dollars in here. So we should be zoning as we build. That kind of makes the most amount of sense. Since our power grid is a little bit more organized, we can get rid of these extra power lines. Just get a little bit more zoning out of these areas. Yeah, so we'll fill this in. I imagine we'll need some water. Maybe make that a bigger shopping area. And then we might lose some of these houses along the way, but just to kind of get us started. And then that one-way roads, for people to be able to live on that, we're going to have to connect the bottom of that one to something. Okay, great. Actually, you know what? Let me show you guys. I'll do 2 birds, 1 stone right here. I want to show you guys a really cool roundabout trick. So let's go like this. We now have our one-way roads, one going each way, that are, back to the spacing that we want. And I'm going to have another set of them go like this. And then same idea, same kind of spacing, right? Oh, we don't have enough money. Well, darn it, a little bit of a damper to my plan. This will have to be built in segments, I guess. Guess we don't need that much room. So keep it on 3-speed, and then, like I said, you know, people will be kind of coming in as we go, so we should be theoretically starting to exponentially grow with our money. Alright, that's probably enough money now to start. Great. Let's get all of our directions going the right way. Perfect. Oh, excellent. Let me just pause this, just because, you know, we unlocked some new things. I want to put those in, and I don't want to spend too much of our money here on this. Okay, so arguably this shape right here, it's like a square roundabout. I guess that makes no sense, but like the physics are kind of there. What we want though is a nice kind of curviness to this. So I kind of discovered this by accident, and it's like my favorite thing to do in game now. So we delete those roads, we're left with just this. And as a side little bonus, this is cool if you want to have kind of roads go around like an in-town highway or in-town rail or tram line or something. This looks just kind of cool for neighborhood building, right? Anyway, we're switching back to our one-way roads here. We're going to go on our freeform road, and we're going to get about a 45-degree angle, which means we got to go a bit further down to find that. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to find the snap point up here, and you can see it makes a nice curve, and then we'll just follow that through, and it just curves the whole way throughout, and you end up with this really, really sharp-looking roundabout right there. All right, now, so to get rid of the traffic lights, let's just go up and over the road. So a height of 9 meters. This might seem a little excessive, but I think it's kind of cool. And I want this to basically link back up with that. But I think just in terms of our angle and stuff, I may need to change that a little bit. So why don't we do this first? And I want a nice smooth segment length coming down. And the maximum length we can have is 12 meters. So I'm actually going to back that up a little bit. So you can see that's 12 meters right here. Very smooth. If I go out too far, it kind of makes a break. So 12 is what I'm looking for. That connects up with that. So it's just a nice smooth transition downward. And then this is our one-way road. I don't think we can get the same angle that we had before. But even, yeah, just like that is cool. So I like that. That's nice. All right, let's connect all of this up. And let's zone on this. And the beauty of these smaller streets, which you probably noticed, I've probably even said before, is when you cross over like this, you don't create traffic lights. You still have traffic that wants to turn in front of, you know, other traffic, so it's not really the most effective and efficient route. But it's just like to avoid double traffic lights, you could do this, or just use those roads. But this could be a bottleneck eventually, so just a heads up. And then as another option, instead of say connecting, what we could do instead is just have a bridge. Line that up. Put the other road in first. Because I mean, really, you want to keep an eye on traffic. You don't want any one spot in the city that's just bad, right? You want to have uniform, good traffic throughout. So I went to a height of 12 meters there just to give us a little bit more room. And then just for nice smooth curves down, I'm going to go 12 units for the length. I don't mind that we can't really zone off that. That's not really the end of the world. And I find that like a lot of new players, and I don't want to say a mistake because it's efficient to a certain extent, but a lot of new players, they try to jam so much stuff in a very small amount of room. Like, don't be afraid to leave some areas like permanently unzoned, or like areas, you know, for corridors, for trees and stuff. I mean, when you think about it, like, you can go like, you know, 9 of these tiles, right? You can make like a really darn big city, right? Okay, so let's start doing some zoning here, but this is a pretty darn cool layout, I think. Great, so that's all of our money spent. Money well spent, I believe. Go just a little bit further with this. There we go. And if we want to get away from doing, just like perfectly, you know, boxed out neighborhoods, just start doing some curves. Start throwing some new shapes in. And we don't necessarily have to have everything connect, but we can if we want to. Like that, right? And then we'll zone as we go, because that, you know, gets us more taxpayers, which lets us build more, which lets us get more taxpayers, and then the cycle continues. So I don't mind trying to zone off these little one-way streets here. I have a tendency now to use these a lot in my cities. Oh, perfect. We're at the point where we should be buying a new power plant. I think someone spent all of our power plant money. Luckily, we can take out a new loan. Okay, so I'm going to pause the game because we need a power plant and our new services to go in. And let's go ahead and drop the power plant right next to our dump. And I'm putting this close to the highway just because right now we don't have any specialized industrial zones, which would give us mining. And the way we would do that is we would create a district over an industrial zone, and then we would click on a specialization, and we haven't unlocked it yet, but we would switch that over to ore industry. You would just click and that'll make your buildings into a mine. And if we do ore industry, that would produce coal for our power plants, but because we aren't, a truck has to be summoned from the region. And so if you've got really bad traffic, this kind of goes back to that, right? If you got bad traffic, then like your truck won't be able to make it, like you'll run out of power, your city falls apart, and oh my gosh, the problems and the chaos, right? So we want to make sure we're getting good traffic, that's close to the highway, everything is great, lots of power. We've now unlocked fire, so let's go ahead and drop some of these guys in. And arguably, if you can only afford to put down one fire station, put it near your industrial side, because this is where, you know, things are more important. Like if we lose our power plant, I mean, that's basically game over, right? And you'll notice that you have to worry about fire coverage in your forest. That you use a fire watchtower for, and you use those in combination with your helicopter fire depots. But those we haven't unlocked yet, but the idea is like that's how you would battle forest fires. So don't worry too much about those just yet. So we got great in-town coverage, I think. It's fine with that. Unlocked a police station. Let's go ahead and drop that down. So same logic, somewhere central, just so we get really good coverage. So crime rate 16%. Let's try and get that lower. And probably a second elementary school, since we're kind of moving down here, just so we get a little bit better coverage in the city. And just a few more pipes. Otherwise, let's continue with our zoning. And I'm just trying to zone just kind of based on demand. So right now we've got a lot of residential and commercial. And we don't want to be too far away from a commercial zone. Otherwise, people then start having to have to drive. So we can have like a little commercial block, say right here. To some shops, and when we unlock them, we can probably put a park or something or a plaza in these kind of open spots here. I like to take advantage of those. Why, so far so good. And then the roads that have like the one ways, you know, it's like we just got to have a road connected to them, otherwise they don't serve their purpose. So why don't we just come across like this and just box all this up? Excellent. Some more services unlocked. So same idea. I'm just gonna pause it again, just so we can kind of keep an eye on our bearings and everything. And it'd be really cool, I think, visually, if we had that happen. But I don't think we can because of the way that road's set up. So forget I said it. Let's just do that instead. But that would have been kind of cool, I think. We can instead, however, do one of these, and that like beautifully lines up strangely. If we wanted to, we would have had to do that to get the right angle, but that is awesome. Yeah, let's do that. Great. So I think personally, just little things like that just helps the city look nice, and it gets away from those perfectly symmetrical grids that people have a tendency to do too often. And it just, yeah, it still keeps traffic and everything moving nicely. Okay, let's just go down here. Awesome. All right, so 3-speed back on. And I believe we've unlocked, yes we have. So let's buy ourselves another tile. Start moving our city in that direction. Excellent. Okay, so we wanted this to be upgraded. And we can just draw that one out a little bit more because we kind of know what's happening with that. And then these, probably gonna make their way over here, I imagine. And then same thing, we probably want to have a like a bridge or just something eventually. For the moment though, I'm fine keeping this Because if you have a one-way leaving a road, it won't create a set of traffic lights. So this is fine for the moment. And then even what we could do just to help faster flow through is we would have, say, a road like this. So if you're approaching, you would turn right instead of having to make a sharper turn to do that. And that'll help, of course, with anyone turning left, because then they don't have to compete with people, you know, turning right. So that helps with traffic flow. And then if we wanted to, maybe this doesn't even have to continue, or we could make it connect to there. Who knows, right? Lots of options. Make sure that goes straight. I think we're a little. Oh, I think we're okay. And then now we have a bit more demand for industry. Let's start building over there. So same idea. We don't want to be too far away from an avenue, so why don't we stretch one of those through like this? And we can even do some of that. And then if we wanted to get away from, I'm just going to pause for about to lose the, actually no, I'm not going to do that because we'd end up making intersections too close to one another. But if you did want to start getting away from a grid, that's essentially the way to do it. Just maybe throw one or two roads in just a curved direction. So like this is what we could do, right? If you want to start breaking away from that. Awesome. So 3-speed back on. And again, have our mix of, say, commercial and industrial. And we have unlocked some more services, so let's go ahead and drop some of those now. I'm going to keep the speed running because I don't know what they are, so I think we'll be okay not having them placed, but we are going to need them in place soon. And I'm going to keep an eye, in terms of power, you can see we can get rid of some of these power lines, it looks like. And even if we go like this, that'll help a bit more. I'm actually going to move some of those back and expand slightly on our industry this way. And let's start backing these up. And that should be perfect right there. Excellent. That just gets us a few more buildings that we can zone in there. Okay, great. So that's a nice little expansion to our industrial part of town. And how are we doing for water production? Great power production, just in time for a new one. Now, unfortunately, we can't take back our loan, but we can do something kind of sneaky. So right here, we can pay back the remainder of this and just take it right back. So that's pretty cool. I mean, unfortunately, don't have the money for those new services just yet, but that's totally no problem. Let's go ahead and put in our power plant first. That'll, give us the ability to continue to grow, to get some more people in here. And we'll take a look at our new services. I think what we've unlocked is a new high school. Yep, we have. And the ability to put in some parks. And again, if you're ever unsure of what you've unlocked, just go ahead and double check in your, your little milestone list right here.
It sort of reminds me of the time
So parks and stuff.
by the lake enjoying the sun and the trees, and I was in such a good
Otherwise, I mean, the city, it's coming along quite nicely. This is looking pretty darn good. Traffic's not too bad. This, you can see right here, might become an issue because of how close those lights are together. And so for us to be able to fix this and to make it more efficient, what we would do is make these into one-way roads that leave. And if they're both a one-way road, you can see now no more traffic light. So we can just try that. And those are the kind of things that you want to just, keep in the back of your mind. So if ever you're trying to address or just do some tinkering or problem solving when it comes to traffic, like those are the kind of tricks you can throw out just to try and get things to work in your direction. And so you can see right here, just in terms of the general scheme, we probably need a little bit more commercial zoning, but I think just we'll let the city grow with what we have. I think we're moving in the right direction. A little bit of commercial down here. Otherwise, let's fill in some residential up here. And then we'll put in our new school now that we can afford it. Zone first, we'll bring in some more pipes. Oh, excellent. A whole bunch of new things unlocked here. So I'm just going to pause, just for that same kind of idea. Just gonna collect our bearings here, because we're moving a little bit fast, which is not a bad thing. Like, I'm fine for it. It's just in your own cities, you don't want to be going too fast, because if you can't afford to put in the new services that you've unlocked, people might start complaining about them, and there's a tendency that, you know, that they're going to move out, right? Which is very counterproductive. You want to keep the momentum and all that stuff moving, right? Okay. So let's just do a few more neighborhoods kind of zoned through here. And then otherwise, I think we're going to call it an episode. So why don't we come across like that? Okay, great. So let's just a few more parks. We'll put in some of the stuff we've unlocked, and then, yeah, then we'll call our quits. And the cool thing about the parks that come with the game is you can connect your own kind of walk paths to the ones that are already in there. That's pretty neat, right? So if you wanted to, you know, like stretch that across, right? Oh, how did I have that? There we go. I think I had that nicer before, but you guys kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to do here, right? Yeah, let's try that. And we'll unzone that a little bit. Awesome. Okay, put that on 3 speed, because I think we know what we're after in terms of the services we just unlocked. So a graveyard, I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And this is the same as when you're dealing with a landfill. The building, once it starts getting people, it cannot be moved until you get a crematorium, and that'll free up spaces in the grave slots. And then this building in general, it makes the people very happy to live next to it, so it kind of acts like a bit of a park. So why don't we go ahead and drop that over here in our little residential sector. That's a nice little charm to the city too. You know, the cities in real life have lots of churches and stuff, right? Whether you're religious or not, I think a church adds a nice little something to your scenery. A little bit of realism, I think. There we go. Let's bring some of these out. Awesome. All right, well, let's just put down the rest of these. I think we just have to put down the high school, and we're good. And with my high school, if you guys happen to have the deluxe version of the game, what I like to put next to it are the basketball courts. I think that kind of is a nice little sharp combination. And then we have a little walking path kind of go behind here. And I'm going to unzone on that little spot. And why don't we do a little bit of decorating here? Make it seem like there's a path going to that back door. And then we have like a little dirt path right here. Perfect. Unzone that. And let's put down some trees. I'm gonna use the same tree that's you know, part of the asset of that park right there. Just maybe a few of those. Yeah, that's perfect. A little bit of symmetry. Yeah, that's nice, right? And that can just be an open field or something right there. And we'll unzone that, and then we'll have like a little commercial bit right here. And then we're next to a park and everything, and that's, I mean, that's a nice little spot, I think, right? Kind of adds a little bit of land value. All right, so water and stuff, we're gonna need new ones soon. Healthcare and death care is in, that's perfect. Fire coverage is great so far. Police, excellent. Crime rate has gone down. We can probably use another police station over here. And probably use another elementary school. Otherwise, the first of our parks have gone in. We won't really worry about public transit just yet. And let's maybe do one more park. And actually, these ones here I really like, because same idea, you can just attach a whole bunch of pathways to them, right? But just areas that have a little bit of kind of unzoned open tiles like this, these are where I like to really put the parks down. Especially if it kind of has a little bit of symmetry, it's a bit of a bonus. But even just this, you know, just line up some of these extra squares here. double if you want for those ones. Why not? Unfortunately, can't do that one, but if we wanted to, we would do that. Oh, I guess that won't connect. Either way, not the end of the world. I like that. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to end off our second episode right here. Looking pretty darn good as a town, I think. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Definitely, you know, any questions, just drop them. I will do my best to answer. And for those of you building along, I hope you're having fun with that too. Feel free to share some screenshots. And if you want, like, I'll save my progress after each file. Like, I can continuously upload the city to the workshop if you want, just in case you guys want to have a little bit of you know, head start in the build. So I can upload this. I think we might get to a point where I'll stop doing that because I'll end up with like 100, you know, 100 workshop items or whatever. But if you guys do want it, like, just let me know. And again, anything I do end up using, I'll let you know. If it's like an asset I made, I can give you guys a link. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I will see you in the next episode. Take care of yourselves. I look really forward to reading the comments. You guys are absolutely great. So I hope things are going well in your own towns. Hope you guys have a great day too. All right, thanks for watching. I'll ramble on forever. See you in the next one.